If you're looking for an app for illustrating, diagramming, or mapping a concept, recording your voice to explain ideas, demonstrating comprehension, or making screencasts, then Educreations might be the right app for you. Let's get started by tapping on the Educreations app. At the top of the app, you'll notice in the center a blue pencil and an eraser. Whichever tool is blue, that's the one that's currently in use. So let's start with the pencil tool. One activity that we might want our students to do with Educreations is to use this whiteboard space to draw a picture of a scene from a book that they've read and then narrate a summary of the book. I can tap on the color wells along the top edge of Educreations to change the color of my pencil ink. So let's start with brown and see if you can guess a book that I'm thinking of. I can tap other colored ink wells to change the color of my ink as I draw. There's an undo arrow close to the top left side to undo anything that I want to change. I can tap twice on any of the colored ink wells to temporarily replace the color with another. And let's see how I did. I hope that you guessed the three little pigs. We can tap on the eraser tool along the top edge if we want to erase small areas in our drawing. Again, if we want to bring back something that we've just done, we can tap on the undo tool, that curved arrow toward the top left side of the screen, to bring back what we've just undone. If I undo something and then change my mind and decide that I really do want that E, for example, in this case, gone, I can always tap on the redo button to redo the last thing that I did, in this case, taking away the E. But I will bring back the E for now. If we decide that we wanted to erase everything that we've got on this page, we could tap the eraser tool again, and this pop-up menu will show up where we have the option to clear the page, which will take away everything we have and give us a blank whiteboard again. Or we can tap on clear ink. In this case, we only have ink, so both of these will do the same thing. If we had a picture or photo on this page, then clear page would take ink and photo. Clear ink would leave the photo but take away the ink. I'm going to keep my drawing for the moment, so I'm just going to tap anywhere on the screen to close up that little box. At this point, we can add our narration to tell the story behind our drawing. So we can tap on that red microphone toward the top left side of the screen. And if this is our first time tapping that microphone, we'll get a pop-up asking us whether or not Educreations can access the microphone. Say OK or allow. And as soon as I tap on this microphone, it's going to begin recording and give me a pause button that I can tap on whenever I'm finished with my recording. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs who each built their houses out of straw, sticks, and brick. There was also a big bad wolf who came along and tried to blow down each of their houses. I can tap on that pause button to stop my recording at this point, and I can see there that I have 18 seconds of recording. If I want to listen to my recording and see how it sounds, I can tap the play button. The first time that you tap that play button, you'll get a little pop-up with a tutorial on it. You can go ahead and close that if it's the first time tapping that. Here now I have another play button at the bottom of my screen. I can tap on this play button and listen to myself and see how my story sounds. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who each built their houses out of straw, sticks, and brick. There was also a big bad wolf who came along and tried to blow down each of their houses. I can tap on that pause button. So if I'm happy with my recording, I could tap on done to close this up, but in this case, I might want to cut off that little ending piece that I have there. So I'm going to tap on edit at the bottom right side of the screen, and I'm just going to grab the right end, and I'm going to drag that right end back past the part that I want to cut off. And now I'm going to tap on the word trim over there on the right side. And I will tap on trim on this pop-up to cut off those last 2 seconds of my recording. And now if I listen to it again, once upon a time there were 3 little pigs who each built their houses out of straw, sticks, and brick. There was also a big bad wolf who came along and tried to blow down each of their houses. So now that extra piece at the end is gone. I could also cut off that blank space at the beginning if I wanted to, but I'm happy with it. So I'm going to close this up by tapping on done over there at the left side. If I was unhappy with that recording, I can tap on the eraser and then tap the eraser again, and now I have the option to clear the recording. So I could tap clear recording and it would wipe out that entire narration that I just recorded. But I'm going to keep it, so right now I'm just going to tap somewhere else on the screen to close up that little pop-up box. We can add another page to our Educreations screencast here by tapping the arrow in the bottom right corner of the screen. And if we look at the top right corner of the screen with that little paper icon up there, we can tap on that to change our background paper. We could tap on lined paper if we'd like to have some lines in the background of our paper. This might be especially helpful if we are practicing our handwriting and we need those lines to guide us, or if we just want our writing to be a little bit neater and not start slanting down the page as we go. We can also tap that icon again. Other options that we have for background: graph paper. And we also have the coordinate grid, so if we wanted to plot some points on the grid, we could plot them here, and then we could draw a line through them to line those up as well. Let's add another page by tapping on the arrow in the bottom right corner of the screen, and let's change our background back to white paper. Another activity that we might want students to do is to record their thinking and their narration together so that we can analyze the process that they're using to maybe solve a problem. So for example, they might have a math problem that they're working on, maybe 3x plus 2 equals 23, and we want them to solve that problem. So with that problem written on their paper, they could tap on the microphone, and once they tap on that microphone, they're going to get a pause button to tap once they're ready to stop their recording. But we can have them tap the microphone, and then they can start solving this problem. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2 from each side of this equation. That is going to cross out these 2's and leave me with 21 on the right side of my equation. So I'm going to have 3x equals 21. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. These 3's will cancel themselves out, And over here on the right side, 21 divided by 3 is 7. So my solution is going to be that x equals 7. And then I can tap on that pause button to stop my recording. At this point, if I want to tap the play button, it will open that recording panel at the bottom edge of my screen. I can tap on the play button. This will play through the audio from the first page as well, and then I can hear myself and see myself working the problem on this page. So let's try that. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who each built their houses out of straw, sticks, and brick. There was also a big bad wolf who came along and tried to blow down each of their houses. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2 from each side of this equation. That is going to cross out these 2's and leave me with 21 on the right side of my equation. So I'm going to have 3x equals 21. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. These 3's will cancel themselves out. And over here on the right side, 21 divided by 3 is 7. So my solution is going to be that x equals 7. At this point, I can tap on done to close the recording. And I'm right back here in my whiteboard screen. I can tap on the arrow in the bottom right corner again to add another page. Educreations is also a great tool for labeling photos. Let's tap on the plus icon at the top right side of Educreations and tap the middle icon in the top row, the mountains and the sun icon. That will give us access to our photos on our iPad. So I could go into my camera roll or any of the albums that I have set up on my iPad. I'm going to tap into this album and I'm going to select this photo of plants. My options for dealing with this photo are along the bottom side of Educreations. I can delete the photo, rotate it 90 degrees, duplicate the photo, fit the photo to the height of the writing area of the whiteboard, fit it to the width of the whiteboard, or lock it into place so that it can't be moved around. I'm going to take my thumb and index finger and tap on the photo and drag it so that it is smaller by pinching inward with my thumb and forefinger. Then I'm going to drag the photo around on the screen just to reposition it. I'm going to tap on the plus icon again and tap on the block letter A at the top row. And then I'll tap anywhere on the screen and I'm going to add some text to label some parts of my photo. So I'm going to label the stem. And right now that text is green. You'll notice that the circle at the top left side of my keyboard is also green. If I tap on that circle, I can change the color of my text. I can make it larger by tapping on the A plus icon at the top of the keyboard. I can make it smaller by tapping on the A minus. I can tap done at the top right side of the keyboard if I'm finished typing, or I can tap anywhere out on the whiteboard area. Then I can tap and drag that word stem around on my screen on the whiteboard area. I'm going to tap on the plus icon again and the block letter A again and tap on my whiteboard screen there. And I'm also going to label the leaf and I'll change the color of that to green. And then I'll tap on done at the top right side of the keyboard and I'll just reposition that word. Now I can select the pencil and I can draw a line from that word to the part in the photo that it represents so that I can add some labels to demonstrate my learning. Now I'm going to add another new page by tapping on the plus arrow in the bottom right corner of the screen. You can also tap on the plus icon and then tap on the live camera icon on the top right side to activate your camera. You can tap the shutter button when you're ready to take the picture. You can tap either Use Photo in the bottom right corner if you want to use this photo, or if you want to retake it, then tap on Retake in the bottom left corner. I'm going to use this photo, so I'll tap on Use Photo, which brings the photo into my whiteboard area. And I can resize this photo with my thumb and index finger by pinching in on the photo to resize it. I can tap on the photo to select it and then rotate it 90 degrees. Duplicate it so that I have additional copies of the photo. Fit it to the height of the whiteboard area. And fit it to the width of the whiteboard area so that it is as wide as the whiteboard area and takes up the entire space. I can also lock down this image so that it doesn't move around when I swipe over it. I can grab a pen and I can write on top of the photo and label different parts of the photo. When you're finished working on your lesson or work, you can turn it into a screencast by tapping on the share icon in the top left corner of the screen. Tap on Save Draft if you want to be able to come back to your work and edit and change things and add more things to it. Tap on Save Finished Video if you're all done and want to save it as a video file. I'm going to tap on Save Draft for right now. This will add your Educreations lesson or your whiteboard work to your draft area of your lessons page. You can tap on the draft anytime to go back into it and to make changes or continue to add to it. If you're all finished though, tap on that share icon in the top left corner and tap on Save Finished Video. If you don't see the Save Finished Video option, that means that you have no audio recorded with your work. You can tap on the microphone and record a couple of seconds of silence if you don't want any sound saved with your work, but you must have audio to turn your lesson into a screencast. So go ahead and tap that share icon, tap on Save Finished Video, give your work or your lesson a title, leave the check mark under Private unless you want it to be listed on the Educreations website. In that case, it will need to be on the Published. If you decide that you want to publish your lesson, you can also change the subject area and grade level so that it accurately reflects what your lesson is about. But we suggest that students leave their Educreations recordings on Private. At this point, I can tap on Save. And my work is now converted to a video with that new title. If I tap on the lesson or work. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who each built their houses out of straw, sticks, and brick. There was also a big bad wolf who came along and tried to blow down each of their houses. So my work plays as a video now. I cannot go back at this point though and edit this work anymore. It's a video from here forward. If I'm finished listening to my work, I can tap on Done. If I want to share my video with others, I can tap on the share icon on the top right side of the screen, and I can copy the link, or I can copy the embed code and then paste that embed code into something like your classroom website, Schoology, or anywhere else online. If I copied the link, then I can also put that link address again on your classroom website, in Schoology, Google Docs, anywhere online. If I tap on Done in the top left corner, it will close my video up, and my video, you can see, stays here on my iPad until I'm ready to delete it. If I do decide to delete it, I can tap on Select in the top right corner, then I can tap on the lesson, and at this point I could tap on the trash can if I want to delete it. There are some other sharing options available in Educreations as well. If you tap on the star icon on the left side, it will show you the other lessons that people have posted publicly on Educreations' website. You can search by subject here to find other videos that you might want to watch on the topics that you teach or are interested in learning more about. You can watch these videos by tapping on them.
In this tutorial, we're going to look at how to grow.
And if you decided that you liked this video and you wanted to share it with someone else, like your students, you can tap on the share icon in the top right corner, and again, you can copy the link or copy the embed code. If you just want to save this for later so that you can quickly access it again, you could tap on the heart icon to favorite it so that it would show up in your Educreations favorites. You can tap on Done to close this up. And again, you can see the heart icon there on the left side where if you have favorited any videos, they will show up there. Also, if you are a teacher, you can tap on the groups area where you can create your own group or channel. If you're logged in with an account as a teacher, then you can tap on the plus sign, create a class name, and then you'll receive a code that you can share with your students so that they can share their Educreations work in your channel. To get back to your lessons or your work, tap on the single head icon at the top to see your work.